Welcome to Kaizen Time, part of the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast, where we provide constant improvement to businesses through timely, actionable financial solutions. Do you want answers to your financial questions? Email us at bsp@kaizencpas.com. I'm your host, Mark Valesky. Now let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Kaizen Time. I'm joined by Eric Jorn, a partner here at the firm. Eric, welcome. Are you here right now? Are you present with me?
Am I here and present right now?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Are you certain?
I don't know if am I certain or am I uncertain?
Well, if you watch the news, these are uncertain times.
Oh, they sure are.
Yeah. So a lot has been changing, not only with the tariffs, which we just went over, stock market. It's just weird. And as we've mentioned before, uncertainty causes fluctuation. It causes people to kind of panic, I don't want to say trigger happy, but a lot of decisions get made, as we've said, when things are either really, really great or really, really, really bad. And these are, again, uncertain times.
Yep.
So what should we tell small business owners to do in moments of uncertainty?
Number one thing is don't do what everybody else is doing and overreact, right?
Don't freak out.
That's what happens in times of uncertainty, right? There's wild reactions. We're seeing it in the stock market. We're seeing it with large employers laying people off, reducing workforces, making rash decisions. And I don't understand why we haven't learned from history and realize like, hey, let's stay the course, right? And that's number one, right? Advice number one, stay the course. Don't overreact. Mm-hmm. But also, you said it in the opening, how do we prepare for uncertainty? Yes, be prepared. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean?
Well, it'd probably be like having some type of action plan, right?
Absolutely.
Knowing and being prepared, having something documented.
Yep.
And especially if we've done this before, what worked last time, right?
That's a really good point, right? Except if you've existed through COVID, if you existed through the 2008 recession, hey, let's look back and see what we did. And, as I look behind the curtain and saw what worked for businesses, the ones that did not overreact, they stayed the course. Maybe they had to adapt, right? Restaurants were a big one where they moved to a delivery takeout style business versus a dine-in, but that's some adaptation that they had to do. So what should business owners do? Hey, great time to do some models. What are models? Here's our performance if we stay the course based on what we project. Good time. This is why you should have a budget, right? If you have a budget, there's your model of how I plan for the year to happen. Then a model is we're going to take scenario A, scenario B, and maybe scenario C, right? Hey, my business crashes. We see somewhat of a decline and maybe we see actually a dramatic increase because we have an opportunity. And if we model out those examples, A, B, and C, then we can make decisions. Okay, these are what we will do if Model A happens, if Model B happens, if Model C. And these are the decisions and the pathways we need to take if any one of those situations arise.
So, Eric, I want to pause you. I say this a lot. When I get in the car, I know where I'm going. I don't just get in and just arbitrarily go. This is a little bit different because of the simple fact, okay, you have these models. Now it's more, okay, my car is going to take me down one of these paths, but you still know, hey, these are the directions or instructions I'm going to need if we go down this path.
Right. Hey, if there's a major crash on 294, sometimes you got to divert and go around. And if you know which way to go, right? Hey, these GPS systems now have the ability to change your path just like that. And then you now have the new arrival time and everything, right? It immediately creates a plan. That's a good analogy.
And realistically, having that kind of structure in place allows your business to react faster than your competition, who may not be prepared at all. You got a leg up.
Yeah. What situation makes sense when the event happens that you start making decisions? First, right? Any good decision making doesn't happen just immediate. It's not an immediate reaction. First, you got to stop and assess the situation. You have to think of all the results of that situation and the alternatives. You craft a plan, and then you make your decisions. Well, having that done or trying to predict that from happening, especially when there is some, possibility of economic uncertainty happening. Having the plans in place ahead of time, and then all of a sudden you're seeing something, you have the plan ready to go. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to react ahead of time, puts you in a way better place than, hey, I'm reacting in the moment. And then you're lagging essentially your decision making at that point.
Well, and just to add to that, when you're making these decisions, not at the nth hour, right? When you're really worried, typically you're making better decisions.
Absolutely.
Right. So something that is pre-planned, pre-decided, and you can go over this with your staff and be like, this is what's going to happen so that everyone is aware.
Yeah.
Right. That clarity creates certainty within your business in an uncertain time.
Number one thing you can be successful through uncertain times, have plans in place before the uncertainty kicks in. Number two, right? Let's have capital reserves, right? Businesses that have strong capital reserves. And actually, let's talk about individuals who have strong capital reserves. We talked about the stock market and where that's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I have some capital right now, I have a phenomenal opportunity to amass some wealth, right? If 3, 4, 5 years from now, this will be looked back as a great buying opportunity in any investments. If I'm a business, right, and let's just say the market is going down, but I have a ton of capital, I'm in great shape, and I can actually pump more money into marketing and advertising to draw more people in, while everybody else has to cut that because they don't have any reserves, because they have to make rash decisions because they didn't plan for it. Well, guess what? Who's going to walk out on the other side much better?
There's a funny saying to that. There's never a bad time to have liquid capital, right?
Yep.
Whether it's when times are great or when times are bad, but when times are bad, it's basically like you're going into a store and everything's on sale.
Yeah.
Right. Like it is your time to, again, mass wealth. And that's typically what happens when you see, wealthy individuals.
Yeah.
They're prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why capital is so important, right? That's why when we have good debt, meaning it's on good terms, it's supported by good cash flows, interest rates reasonable. I get this question all the time. Hey, I got a massive money somehow, right? Great record year. Somehow I happen upon cash. Should I pay off my loans? Well, if it's good debt, like I said, good debt is good terms, good rates, good. It fits in your cash flow model really well. No, don't pay off debt, because capital is one of the most important things that a successful business has. We see startup businesses all the time. A well-funded startup business versus a poorly funded startup business, their chances of success is extraordinarily different, only because this person has to make rash decisions all the time. This person has the ability to take opportunities.
Mm-hmm. I think we also said with capital, don't just go buy a boat, right?
Well, it's almost summertime.
Unless you're a boating company.
Or we are in the world of the lakes, right? We have one of the largest freshwater lake systems here. It's time to go buy a boat. Probably from one of our clients who owns a boat dealer.
One other thing that I really want to add, and
that was a joke.
One thing I want to add, and I don't think it's said enough, is focusing on what makes your business money. Like your real. Your money makers. I like to say the bread and butter, like what your clients come there for. It is time to really hone in on that, as opposed to, trying a lot of different things. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. If you're McDonald's, focus on the cheeseburger. Don't try to bring back the mixed spaghetti.
Please focus on the cheeseburger, because currently it's not, it's nothing special.
No, you're right. It's not, now is not the time to go chase the shiny objects and get distracted. When there's uncertainty, when the economic conditions start to suffer, some people might say diversity. Diversity in your entire financial ecosystem, great. Mm-hmm. As a business operator, unless you are in the exact niche that would get, devastated by a recession, honing in on your product and being the best in class. I mean, that strategy never fails.
A good example, if there is a demand, let's say, okay, you're in a certain type of business and one of your competitors all of a sudden falls apart and they offered a very specific program that is tangential, I'd say, to yours, then you can pick that up. Correct. That is a huge business opportunity. But I'm saying something like trying something completely out of the box. Yeah, it's not a great idea. We talked about restaurants before and how they just changed their business model. They really weren't doing anything too different. Yeah, right. Still offering the same foods. They're just offering another service or another option. They're just being flexible.
Delivery. It's really just a delivery method, right? Instead of it only being, button seat. Now it is delivery or takeout.
And again, it's not too much of a change. Yes.
And guess what they did in that time? They simplified their menus.
They did. And as we know, simplicity makes decision-making that much easier.
Absolutely. And it allows you to be more successful, right? Your team can be more better trained if they don't have to learn so many different systems. I mean, it's one of the reasons why, right? We're only going to work with companies that are on QuickBooks Online. We're not going to work with those that are in Sage and pen and paper and Excel and all these crazy things, right? And that's why we don't say, hey, we're going to be international tax experts, sales tax experts, multi-state income tax experts. We're not going to be experts in all the things. We're not going to do audits. We're not going to do quality of earnings studies. We're not going to do all these random things, right? Because they all can generate revenue. Great. But if we did all that, then I have to have staff that's all trained on all those different things. And they might have to learn multiple different systems and multiple different ways to conduct themselves and multiple different processes and procedures to follow. And you're not really efficient. You're not really strong, and you lack probably a lot of expertise when you're doing all of those things.
Yep. And then you're shifting gears too. Yeah.
Yep.
I get that. So Eric, as we kind of wrap up, what are the things that a small business should do in times of uncertainty?
Yep. Number one, make a plan.
And have it in place in advance.
Make sure your team is well aware of the plan. Everybody's on the same page for execution. They know exactly what they need to do if that were to happen. Number two, make sure your business is financially stable, meaning we're not over leveraged and we have plenty of capital reserves in place. Number three, don't deviate from your core, right? Continue to focus on your core. It's not time to go out and try something crazy, try something new. Let's focus on what we know we can deliver consistently.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Kaizen Time, part of the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast. If you like what you heard, subscribe and leave a 5-star review. This podcast has been brought to you by Kaizen CPAs Plus Advisors, providing advisory and accounting services to help you grow your business. Learn more at kaizencpas.com or email us at bsb@kaizencpas.com.